All right, this is a sikha of the Lubavitcher Rebbe. Parshat Nitzavim. Says the Rebbe that Parshat Nitzavim always comes right before Rosh Hashanah because it contains the message of how to prepare for Rosh Hashanah. Nitzavim says, Atem Nitzavim Kulchem Ayom. You, the Jewish people, you're standing, all of you are all standing. And then it goes and continues on. It says, Roshechem, Shivtechem, Shoav Meimecha, Chote Beitzecha, Shoav Meimecha. Says that all the Jews are all standing and they're all together from the heads of the tribes until the lowest level of the Jews. Jews that are only there accepted because of not good reasons. They were made Jews, they were converted Jews, but the wrong reasons. Nevertheless, all the Jews are all standing together from the highest to the lowest. What's the point? The point is don't look at another person negatively. If you look, every Jew has something that no other Jew has, and that's why they're all created, and you have to try to find the good in the other person, or at least believe that there is good in the other person. And then you'll all be standing together. You'll all be standing together. One of the worst mistakes a person can make in life is to judge other people and look for other people that are worse than him, or look for the bad in other people. And if you don't find it, believe that there is bad in the other guy. That eventually, like they say, well, I don't, that person, I don't know him, but I'm sure if I got to know him, I'd hate him. And it was just, they automatically, it makes you feel good to hate somebody because you feel superior to the other person. It's a big trick. That's a big mistake. There's a known saying that if you point your finger at another person, the finger of blame, and another person, you point your finger at somebody, so there's three fingers pointing back at you. Right? So that's shows that the paradoxical futility of blaming other people. That in the end, you're only blaming yourself. And it says also in the Talmud that if a person's always blaming other people, probably he's only seeing his own faults in the other people. Call a posel, but mumatzmohu posel. Anyone who disqualifies is probably looking at his own disqualifications. He's only looking at his... Okay. How do you do this? It says the Rebbe. Kishi Yehudi mitbonen. If a person thinks, we're in Daled, Lefit Kiyat Rosh Hashanah, that before the sounding of the shofar on Rosh Hashanah, he has asked God, Yivchar lanu et nachalateinu et gaon Yaakov asher ohev Sela. That we're saying to God, God, choose for us our portion, the glory of Jacob that you love. Hari mashmuto, it means Yivchar lanu, means kach v'lo acheret, that God, what do you mean to choose? When you choose something, it means that no logic is necessarily involved. You just chose this person. You chose this. When we say that God chose us, God chose, not like a person when he chooses something. A person doesn't really have what we call bechira chavshis, doesn't have free choice. Free choice. Person's choices are usually determined by some outside factors. The one outstanding example that's brought in the whole Torah, that's brought in the writings of Chassidut, of when the Jews actually utilized free choice, totally free choice, is in the miracle of Purim, when the Jews had to choose between either staying alive and succeeding and getting along with Haman and Achashverosh and bowing down to Achashverosh, or saying that I'm a Jew. And because of that, being under the threat of death, that everyone had a free license to kill all the Jews, and all of the Jews chose to say I'm a Jew. Makes no sense whatsoever. They got absolutely nothing out of it. That's called free choice. Totally illogical, makes no sense whatsoever. It reaches to the essence of one's soul. Well, we'll talk about that later. But in any case, when God chooses, though, God is not forced by any ulterior motives or any outside or peer pressure or anything like that, or he's worried about losing something that he's got. God chose us. God chose us means that he chose us from his essence. Shekach Kein Rach La'atzmut Yisbrich. Now let me call him Adirot. Now let me call him Agbolot. Chavshi, that God, in His essence, above all limitations, above all measurements, God is totally free, and nevertheless, He, from His freedom, chose every single Jew. And you start to think, one second, that God chooses, it doesn't mean that God chooses like I choose to eat this steak instead of that steak, or I choose to buy a Ford instead of a Chevrolet. When God chooses, God is not a human being. God is not comparable to even the highest of worlds. Much greater than the incomparableness of the world of Atzilus to the world of Asiya. The highest spiritual level that you can possibly read about in the books of Kabbalah, the highest possible spiritual levels is called Atzilus. Highest spiritual dimension is incomparable to this physical world. In fact, even just one dimension above us, called the world of Yetzirah, is infinitely greater than this world. The world of Atzilut, how much more so? So it's like 3 levels of incomparable infiniteness between Atzilut and this world. So it's incomparable, right? It says yes, but the incomparability of Atzilus to this world is nothing compared to how incomparable is the essence of God to the world of Atzilus. Kol yachas ein aroch shitor eno mehave klal mashal liyachas ein aroch sheben abore lenivroim. No level of infinity, no matter how many dimensions of infinity you want to imagine, it is no way explains or even approaches how infinitely far God is from the entire creation, even the highest spiritual levels. God Himself is infinitely far from even the highest spiritual levels, higher than the highest spiritual levels are from us. If so, when you think this level of godliness, which is infinitely incomparable to the world of Atzilus, God chose us. Keitzad marchiv oz levakesh miatzmuto. How can we ask God to choose us? When you think about this, yarich et atzmo, and you think, oh, I'm really a nothing. Then lo yishar panai larich et hasheni. Then, if I compare myself to the essence of God, then I won't have any free time, and I certainly won't have the chutzpah to compare myself to somebody else. Get it or no? Good, Herschel. Rabbi Hilmi Parich, Mishtokek lirot et Admor Azakim. So when you're standing there in shul, you have to be, before Rosh Hashanah, you have to be equal to everybody. How can you be equal to everybody? I'm not equal to everybody. I know more than this other person. I do more mitzvahs than this person. This other person is not a good person. He says, you know what? Stop thinking about just you and the other person. Think a little bit about the Creator. Think a little. You can't think about the Creator? Think about the spiritual worlds. Right? Spiritual, you get a little idea. You have a soul inside of you keeping you alive. That's incomprehensible, right? Well, that's only spiritual. There's levels and levels and levels of spirituality which are more incomprehensible. Well, all of that is like nothing compared to the Creator Himself. And the Creator chose all the Jews, and we're asking God, please continue to create us. Think about the Creator, and you won't think about this guy standing next to you. And the fact that you're trying to compare yourself to somebody else just shows that you're totally off the track.
I always think of the Ramban's letter to his son, and always remember that if you think you're big, there's somebody bigger than you. There's always somebody smaller than you.
Rabbi Hilmi Parich, Hishtokek liros et Admor Zakin. The great Rabbi Hillel of Parich, who he himself was a tzaddik, he very much wanted to see the first Rebbe of Chabad. It's a known story that Rabbi Hilmi Parich, he and his learning partner, they had learned all the books of the Torah. It was an amazing genius. With Kabbalah and everything, they learned everything. And he was a tzaddik, he was a great holy person. And he was humble, he had all the good qualities. And one day he came across the book, the Tanya. And he and his friend opened it up and they started reading. They read the first chapter of the Tanya. They looked at one another and they said, "We're not tzaddikim." Oy tzaddik, he said. We thought we were really great. This book is written by a man who's not, writing theories and, wonderful ideas. This is not like a smart man that's writing smart stuff, or a spiritual man that's writing spiritual stuff. This is a godly man. He's really explaining what God is. This is firsthand, if you want to call it experience. This is where that tzaddik is, right? When you think about the Reb Hillel Miparch, he really wanted to see the first Rebbe of Chabad. And every time he came to a city where the first Rebbe of Chabad, Reb Shneur Zalman, the one who wrote the Tanya, was there, so lo pagashato, he always missed him. Mishum she'admor zaken kavar nasa misham, because the Alter Rebbe, it's called the Alter Rebbe, Reb Shneur Zalman, he already left that place. He heard that he was there, he went. So he thought, listen, maybe what he's going to do is he'll try to find out where the Rebbe is going to be. And then he'll go there and he'll wait for him. When he heard that the first Rebbe of Chabad, that Reb Shneur Zalman, he was going to be in a certain place, he got there before the Alter Rebbe got there. It wasn't enough that he just got to the city where the Alter Rebbe was going to be, the city. Because he always saw that there's all sorts of unfortunate occurrences that prevent him from seeing the Rebbe. So he thought maybe this time something will happen that he won't be able to go to the room where the Rebbe is or something. So he found out which room the Rebbe is going to be speaking. He went to the house where the Alter Rebbe is going to be, and he hid under the bed. So great was his desire just to see the first Rebbe of Chabad, just to see Reb Shneur Zalman. How much more so to hear from him, to hear something directly from him. I mean, this was a man who really appreciated it. Really appreciated it. Everybody thought the Rebbe was great, but here was a man who really appreciated who the Rebbe is. Rabbi Hillel lechin kushya mesechtes arachin, kadei leseit leteit b'halacha im admor zaken. He thought that the Alter Rebbe would start to speak, and he had already a question ready from the Talmud in Arachim. Arachim is how to estimate the value of things that you pledge to the Holy Temple, right? I pledge. So it's Arachim. Miyad imi kenasa admor zaken lecheder, od b'terem speak Rabbi Hillel, let's say it mi machbo. So it worked. He was hiding under this bed. The Alter Rebbe came into the room, sat down at a table. His Chassidim came in also. That was it. Rav Hillel was going to come out from under the bed and ask him the question. Before Rav Hillel had a chance to go out from the bed, Shema et Admor Zaken Omer, he said, Beniguna Yadua. He used to speak like in a song way. If there is a young man that has a question in Arachim, in the Talmud that talks about evaluating things, Allah larich atzma techila. First of all, he should evaluate himself. He heard the Alter Rebbe starting to speak. He thought the Alter Rebbe was going to start to say something, and he would come out from under the bed quietly. And then, when there was a little, break between the paragraphs or whatever, he would say something. But what did the Alter Rebbe start to say? He said, if there is a young man and he has a question in the Talmud of evaluations, Archim, is before he asks questions, he should evaluate himself. He heard the Rebbe say that, Miyad italef Rav Hillel. Immediately Rabbi Hillel fainted, passed out. Kishamatsu v'oru me'alfuto, when they found him and woke him up from his unconsciousness, Kavar Nasad Murazakin Misham, the Alter Rebbe traveled from there and he never saw him. Ended up in his whole life he never saw the Alter Rebbe. Shuv lo Allah biyad Rav Hillel liot etzalad Murazakim. He never had the opportunity to be, Rav Hillel Miparj never had the opportunity to see the Alter Rebbe. So he went to the second Rebbe of Chabad, the son of the first Rebbe called Admor Amsoi, and he went to the Tzemach Tzedek, the grandson of the Alter Rebbe. This is the only time that he really had the chance. He was in the same room as the Alter Rebbe, and that time he did not have a chance to meet him. What's the point of the story? Lagabenu, Shishamanu at the seaport. If we hear the story, there must be a lesson from it. What's the lesson? That you estimate the value of things, it's not necessarily based on their utility or your intelligence. If a person says, I don't give the value of my wife to the Holy Temple, it makes no difference if your wife happens to be a heiress to $1 billion, and she also knows how to work in the house and cook and everything, or if your wife does absolutely nothing, just sits around in the house and does nothing. It makes no difference. All that's important is her age. Her age. If she's from the age of 15 to this, then the law is like this. If she's from the age of 60 and above, the law is like this. Kol anashim b'nei gil zaha hem be'erech shava. All people of the same age have the same value. Hari lecheora yesh makom lakach she'adam yakshe kusha. A person might ask a question. 1 second. Ani asakti kol hashanos b'torah v'avoda. I, my whole life, learned Torah and served God. I gave pleasure to God. Pamilia Shalmaila Nanit, the upper, all the angels, they got pleasure. Therefore, I deserve to be a little bit sort of, I say, valued. Huh? I'm valuable to God. Look, I do Torah, I do mitzvahs, not like all these people running around the streets like cats and just doing nothing, right? They're just living and eating, and there's this. I'm really valuable. I do Torah mitzvah. I don't waste my time. I'm a person that takes life seriously. If so, if so, I'm very valuable. I have a big, I'm precious. And what about the life of these other people? They're just empty. Maybe it was even better. They shouldn't even been created. Right? This guy's whole life, he drinks. What does he do? Who knows what he does? Doesn't do any mitzvahs, no Torah. How can it be that our value is the same just because we're the same age? Right? I'm 60 years old. I made use of every day of my life for Torah and avoda and helping people and doing things. And this person is 60 years old and his whole life all he did was eat and sleep. Okay, Ne'amar therefore says, if you have a problem with arichim, if you have a problem in evaluating things, first of all, evaluate yourself. Evaluate yourself. In God's eyes, if you're 30 years old, you're worth exactly the same thing as a big sinner who's 30 years old. Does that make sense? That doesn't make any sense. So then you also do the same thing. Don't start measuring the other person. Right? Don't start measuring the other person. You think you're great or you think that? And that's how you can approach Elul with equality. Think about the Creator and don't think about how you're better than anyone else or how somebody else is worse than you are. No matter how good it makes you feel, that's not the attitude to take before Rosh Hashanah. Chet. Hey. The Gabi Rosh Chodesh Elul regarding Chodesh. Elul, regarding the month of Elul, Yesh Nosef the Rosh Tevas HaKlolim. In addition to the general initials of Elul, Ani Ladodi Li. Yesh Mispar Rosh Tevas Pratim, there's also others. Ani Ladodi. Rosh Chodesh Elul, we learned another one, okay, but generally speaking, Ani Ladodi Li, that's prayer. There's also Torah Avoda Gemilat Hasadim. Ino Liyada the Samti Lach, it's a sentence about the cities of refuge. If it occurs to somebody that he killed somebody by accident, I have put for you a city of refuge. That's Ino Liyada the Samti Lach. That is the first letters of Elul. That refers to Torah. Torah is like a sanctuary city. Because the words of Torah, koltin heim. The words of Torah protect you. Like King David said, if you read in Kuf Yud Tet, King David is always praising the Torah, that the Torah is the only friend that he's got. Everyone's running after him, everyone's trying to kill him. The Torah, you are my sanctuary, you are my place I can run to. There's also Ish l're'eu matanot le'avyonim. That is talking about, it's a sentence from the Megillah. It's talking about giving charity. Ish l're'eu matanot le'avyonim Elul. Ish l're'eu matanot le'avyonim Elul. And Ma l'Hashem elokecha et lavavecha bet zarecha. This refers to avoda, tefillah, and tshuva. Some people say it's referring to tshuva, some people say to prayer. Kasiyam HaKatuv, like it says, Ahava et Hashem Elokecha. How does it say? Umal Hashem Elokecha et lavavecha et lavav zarecha laman, etc. Ahava, that you will come to love God. It's explained in this pamphlet, which is called the pamphlet of serving God. It's written by the fifth Rebbe of Chabad when he opened up his Yeshiva Ohr Tmimim. She'ikar avodas tefillah is love. The main aspect of prayer is love. Love. It's a mitzvah. It's a commandment to love God. And as we've spoken about so many times, in order to love something, you have to really value it. You have to find something really good in it. So what's the good of God? Who knows if God even exists? You want to feel that God exists? Think about it. How do I think? That's what we have the Maimonim of Chassidut. Think about it. You'll start to realize, God exists. That's not enough. God is really good. God is really good. Not only intellectually, emotionally. God is mine and He's really good. Oh, then you start to have love. God is really valuable. Okay, good. He's valuable. He creates the world. It's not love yet. That's called, appreciation. It's also good. Very nice. But that's not love. Love, you have to really appreciate God. You have to get emotional. That is the main thing of prayer. Inyan ha-Torah ve'inyan avoda, whose barbad is nam nusacheret. What is the main point of Torah and of avoda? We'll talk about later. What I want to talk about now is charity. Lagabi inyan ha-tzedakah, regarding giving charity. Ish l're'eu u'matanot le'avyonim, charity. Bilti move, and it's not understood why the first letters are Ish l're'eu. Hadanot b'mishloach manot below tzedakah. This one, it says Ish l're'eu u'matanot le'avyonim. This is not talking about charity. It's talking about shloach manos. Ish l're'eu is shloach manos matanot le'avyonim. Oh, that's charity. Listen, on the holiday of Purim, there are 4 commandments. All of them start with Mem. One of them is you have to listen to the Megillah. The other one is you have to make a mishteh, you have to make a meal. One of them is matanot le'avyonim, giving charity to the poor, and I'm sorry, and also to matanot le'avyonim, to give to the poor, and also to give to ish l're'ehu. You also have to give a gift. Ish l're'ehu. You have to give one gift to a person. Give a gift. You give one gift to somebody, a piece of food or something like that. They learn it should be of some 2 pieces of food that you can eat. Okay, where do we learn that you have to give these 2 pieces of food to a friend, and also you have to give charity? From the same sentence, 4 words: Ish l're'ehu u'matanot le'avyonim. Right near the end of the Megillah, the sentence is. Ish l're'ehu means that you have to give gifts. 1 gift to one friend, Ish l're'ehu, and matanot le'avyonim, you have to give 2 gifts to the poor people. To poor people, you have to give 1 coin to 2 different people and give 1 coin. Each person gets 1 coin, at least. Matanot le'avyonim. Says, good. That hints at what? At charity. Says, 1 second. That doesn't hint at charity. Only the end of the sentence hints at charity. Matanot le'avyonim. But the beginning, Ish l're'ehu, is not talking about charity. It's talking about giving gifts of friendship, one to the other. How did that come into Elul? Elul, you're supposed to give gifts to your friends? No, it's only on Purim. Why? You have to give gifts to the poor. That's charity. That's the main thing of Elul. Learning Torah, doing tshuva, prayer, and giving charity. Where do we learn giving charity? Well, it says 4 letters of Elul. Ish l're'ehu, matanot le'avyonim. The only problem is Ish l're'ehu. These first 2 are not talking about charity. That's just talking about giving gifts to your friends. Matanot le'avyonim, that's talking about. So if so, the main place where you learn giving charity is not from the word Elul. It's from the Vav Lamed in the end. Matanot le'avyonim. The idea of giving gifts to the poor, hahevdel bein aniyim lebein evyonim, the difference between poor people and Evion, there's ani and Evion. An ani is a person who nikra misha eno ashir, he's not rich. Av lo benoni. Aval yesh lo mashu, he's got a little, he's poor, but he's got something. Right? An Evion is a person, like Rashi says, sheta'ev l'kol davar. L'kol davar kal erech. An Evion is a person that has absolutely nothing. Okay, Urshel? Person has absolutely nothing. Ken kolel apirush to'ev l'kol davar gam et hakatzei hasheni hu to'ev af l'davar hagadol biyoter. Evion is a person that he desires anything. He's lacking everything. But on the other hand, it means he's lacking everything. It means he's also, he feels he's lacking a new Rolls Royce. Lacking everything. So on the one hand, he finds a little sardine stuck in a can in the garbage. He'll take it and eat it. Oh, this is amazing, a big holiday, right? If that's what you want, you're going to take another sardine. Wait, this is the biggest holiday in the world. Says, what are you looking at? Here, I just gave you a big sardine. That's a nice Rolls Royce over there. Huh? I sure would like to have that. So what are you talking about, man? I just gave you, you don't even have a sardine. He says, you're right, I want a sardine, but I also want that, right? That's called an evion. He's lacking everything. He puts his eye on everything he's lacking. Mishum sheyeh ragil b'kach. Mishum shehoya ragil l'kach. Because it could be that a person says, I don't understand, why are you looking at you don't even have a sardine, why are you looking at a Rolls Royce? He said, let me show you something. Takes out a, says, see this picture? It says, yeah, it's some rich person standing in front of the, 4 Rolls Royces, and he says, yeah, he's got all these bodyguards around him. So that's me, look at, that's what I used to be. I used to be over there with this thing. Now I'm scrounging around for sardines in the garbage, but I still am longing for that Rolls Royce like I used to have. You know, I'm still, that's what I used to have. Afilu sus l'rochav alav. Even a horse to ride on it. Kadoma me'achar shoyeh ta'ev l'kol לקח ובלעדי זאת אינו מסוגל לבצע שליחוסו בעולם. עליך לתת לו זאת. Therefore, if a person, you give him a sardine, are you happy? Yeah, that's enough. He says, 1 second. I'm happy because I was hungry, but that's not really what makes me happy. What would make you happy? I need to have a Chabad house with 50 workers and 10 for, what are you, nuts? So that's what I used to have. That's what I used to have. I used to have a budget every year, annual budget of $10 million. I used to give charity. I used to do all these things. Are you joking? No, I'm not joking. That's what I really need. He says, if I don't have it, I feel poor. Bram, that's an evion. Bram, alul adam lachshov shehu hu ashir. Kashu noten. Davar gadol, davar katan. L'chavero evion. You might think that if you give to a person, I'm giving to someone else, then I'm rich. Then I'm rich. Right? This guy is poor. He needs something from me. I give to him. Now I am the rich one and he is the poor one. That's how it goes. Right? Says the Rebbe, 1 second. We just finished learning. You shouldn't estimate yourself. Arachim. Everybody's worth the same thing. But here, this guy, obviously it's not so. Can you give me something? What do you want? Give me $1 so I can buy sardines. You know what? Take 20. Whoa, this is really good. I really feel good. I gave him 20. I'm large. The person starts praising me. You're wonderful. You're so great. Nobody gives me this much money. God bless you. Oh, it's like every time he says a good thing, it's like a pump. I become more and more inflated. It says, Kalapi kach boz a pasuk says, Livnei hamilim matanot le'avyonim. Hamilim ish l're'ehu. Ish l're'ehu o matanot le'avyonim. It means hem shel ish l're'ehu or makabel hu re'ehu. You have to realize the person you're giving charity to, he is your friend. What do you mean he's your friend? He's on the same level as you are. I.e., he doesn't have anything and you have $5 billion in the bank. It says that's what it says. Ish l're'ehu u matanot le'avyonim. When you're giving matanot le'avyonim, you have to realize that before that this person is really equal to you. Nimsa ba'oto matzav shel anotem. Really, you are in the same situation as this other poor person. Ein echad tzorech l'sheni. Really, he doesn't need you. Because he's not giving you. When you give this person your $20 or whatever, you're not giving yours. You're just giving to the person what God left by you as a trust. Kapit kam Chassidim, like the Chassidim used to say, Prusat alechem shenimsa b'rushuti hi shelcha k'sheli. The bread that I have in my house is yours just like it's mine. But you makdimim shelcha, it's yours before they were saying mine. And kamayim razal yoter mishabal abayit osei ha'ani osei ha'bal. More than what the rich person does for the poor person does for the rich person. The poor person gives the rich person a chance to give. Omer Razal, nafsho shel ani hechieta. If you gave food to a poor person, lamachar bincha o bitcha, tomorrow maybe your son or your daughter will need help. I'll do just what you did. I'll help them. Matzil ani otam. Me'achar, since a person is more kavaguf nefesh, since that a person is combined with a body and a soul. So this, the Rebbe just gave us advice how we can really consider ourselves to be equal, even though we are not equal. We have a big house, he lives in the street, I have $20 million in the bank, he has absolutely nothing whatsoever, he doesn't even know what a bank looks like, right? I have food in my house, he's scrounging for food from each meal. So I'm better than he is, obviously. Says the Rebbe, don't think so even 1 second. The fact of the matter is, in a way, he's higher than you. He's giving you a chance to give charity. You're not giving him a chance to do anything. How are you benefiting him? You just give me a little piece of fish. You're benefiting him. He's benefiting you more. Right? He's giving you a chance to do a commandment. So he's higher than you. Since that a person is combined of a body and soul, there's also spiritual charity. Just like to give a person the sardine, or if he needs it, a Rolls Royce, that's what he really needs. there's also what we call spiritual charity. Afilu ani shebi Yisrael, even the poorest person in Israel, chayev b'tzedakah, he has to give charity. Kach gam b'tzedakah ruchni is also spiritual charity. Everyone has to give it. Afilu ani mibechinas ruchnius, even if you are poor spiritually, you don't know how to read, you don't know how to write, you don't know anything. But what you know, not to light lights on Shabbos. That's all you know. Don't light lights on Shabbos. If that you know, shekain yesh lakol Yehudi malatet. Everybody has something to give. Uvda zu atzmosh nitkal b'poloni. The fact that you happen to come across someone, mehavi horasha alav lazor latet lapoloni. It means that you have to give him something. Everyone has to give charity. Shekain me'acha shekol inyan hu b'ashkacha pratit v'lo bara kodesh baruch hu davar levatala haynu betach ira kach bekavana sheyitain mashu lapoloni. Everyone you meet, you should try to give something to them. Huh? Doesn't make any difference how poor you are. Give. Give a good word. Kashem shabagashmi is just like physically. Ein hu anoten lechavero. It's not really you are giving to the other person. Ki meitev bakach. That's more, but you're doing yourself a favor, right? Like we said before. You give this person a charity. Charity is a piece of food. So you're just giving him food. He's giving you the chance to do a big mitzvah. And not only that the food that you're giving is just food that God gave you. Right? There's people that work harder than you, and they earn less than you. Right? You have Bill Gates. Let's say the man has $100 billion. Has $100 billion. Right? I have in my bank account $100. Maybe $150 in my account. So let's say Bill Gates is 100 billion and I have only 100. Does that mean Bill Gates works 1 billion times harder than me? He's 1 billion times smarter than I am? I mean, let's say he's smarter, but nobody's 1 billion times smarter than him. It doesn't make any sense. How did he get so much? Why does he have 1 billion times more money than I have? Why? Hashem decided he wanted to give it to him. It's not really his. Kach gam baruch nis. Okay, Herschel. By means of giving to others, really you are receiving from this other person. Because only complete way to be complete is if the head realizes the importance of the feet. The feet, of course, realize the importance of the head. But a person that doesn't have any feet is in bad shape, no matter how smart he is, no matter how great he is. A person, the biggest genius in the world, and he's just, knocking everybody. He would love to have, if he doesn't have any feet, he would certainly love to have feet. So the same thing is with the Jewish people. Some people are like feet. They have no talents, no intelligence. Some people are like heads. And everyone has to accept from everyone else, receive from others. How so? If for no other reason than just the fact that you give to another person, and then that is giving you a big mitzvah, a big connection to God, to the one who gives you everything. You're acting like God and giving what you have, it's only a gift anyway, to others. Pam diber kaver kudish dad maratzem akserek beniron malas at tzedakah. Al kama gadol, how great is the mitzvah of helping another Jew in Parnasa. Ad kama ozer adavar, how much it helps you to serve God. It opens up your brain and your heart to receive inspiration from above. He told a story that Tzemach Tzedek, I'll read this without reading the Hebrew, that Tzemach Tzedek told the story to his son, the Rebbe Shmuel, who became the 4th Rebbe of Chabad, that it was such a story like this, that once when he went from Dov Ro Misle to Lubavitch, he was very, very satisfied from how his grandfather, we're talking about the Tzemach Tzedek, how his grandfather, the Alter Rebbe, taught him and was close to him. Kiviti Shiva Boy Lubavitch. I hope that when I would come to Lubavitch, I would have the merit to see the Alter Rebbe Bapanim Mi'irot. Okay, what's going on over here? The city of Lubavitch, Chabad moved into the city of Lubavitch like a year after the Alter Rebbe died. The Alter Rebbe passed away. And the Tzemach Tzedek had been very, very close to his grandfather. And his grandfather used to appear to him regularly before he would pray. His grandfather wasn't alive anymore. He would appear to him almost whenever, and he could ask him questions, and he would give him answers. And when he would appear, he would usually appear in a very smiling face. So it was several years after the Alter Rebbe passed away. Meanwhile, says the Tzemach Tzedek, I had a few questions in things in law and Talmud, questions in Chassidut, and I arranged it in my mind. When I came to the city of Lubavitch, I went immediately to the place that usually she'alav sipur lanu asaba b'derech l'diadi she'lamad b'beit haKnesset she'amad alav, where I usually used to learn. Kafi she'siparti hayaz hashetach panui lachar sreifa shayat az. I went to this place where it was open, and I'm hoping my grandfather would appear to me as usual. My brother-in-law, Admor Emtsai, said, "Shalivnei chamishim v'sheva shanim." It must be listening to a letter over here. That 57 years before, also Kavik Ad Gadol at Lubavitch Lamakom Mukhshar Lahanalas Chassidic Chabad Barichas Yamim V'Shanim V'Kiyum Nitzchi Ad Bias Mashiach. The Alter Rebbe was in this place 57 years earlier. It still wasn't, Lubavitch was not the center of Chabad then. He was here, and he made this place fitting that Chabad should be here. All right, let me just tell you the whole story, what the end is. He said, I prepared myself for prayer, and I had these questions, and my father, the Alter Rebbe, didn't appear for me. One more minute will be. He didn't appear. I couldn't figure out why. I said, suddenly remembered that day he was walking to the shul when they were at the synagogue where he was davening. Someone asked him for a loan. And he was in a hurry to go to pray. And he said, I'll finish praying and I'll give you the loan afterwards. Suddenly he thought this man probably needed a loan in order that he could buy produce to do business with. And I'm making him wait an hour, who knows how long. So I took off my talis and tefillin, and I ran back to this man, and I looked for him in the market, and I gave him the loan. And when I came back, my grandfather, the Alter Rebbe, appeared to me. And he told to me how wonderful it was to give charity, as we're going to learn more in depth tomorrow, God willing. Thank you very much.